Bhavna Pankaj. I love the name Bhavna. Um,
Vandana,
why-
hi.
you have written two books. Why did we decide to sit down with you for a formal interview for the Inspired Indian? I keep an eye on your socials and your DMs sometimes.
Thank you. It's an honor.
The latest book, how amazing. Fathers, we women will be daughters. If we talk about fathers, yes, it's a very, very emotional spot for us. And so that book really, really intrigued me. But then I've seen Bhavna, someone who runs a wellness business. You have your own muscle training, muscle stimulation business. Okay, so I saw that Bhavna. And then I know once when we first connected, you told me about one more book that you've written in the past, Dil Hai Na Fix It.
Fix it. That's right.
And then you also are into mind wellness. Like I know you do workshops for seniors. So obviously, I mean, I had to sit down with you.
It's an honor, really. Thank you so much, Vandana.
We're so curious, Bhavna. Let's get started. Yeah, like start from where did this whole journey began, right? For you. Tell us as much as you can. And I know you've overcome quite a bit in your life. That too, I learned in our first meeting. So I'm serious, I'm curious, and let's roll.
Thank you for the platform. And it's amazing to connect with you again, Vandana. It's so nice to see you again on Zoom as well. Um, yes, it's been a long journey, and all of us go through a lot. So, my first book, as you mentioned, was Dil Hai Na Fix It. And that is a true story. And that is our story, my husband, me, us. And it's beautiful in the sense, as the name says, Dil Hai Na Fix It, is my husband needed to support and help. He wasn't well, and we took him to fix the heart. So we actually, he was going through that phase, and we took him to fix the heart and get him back together. And the story begins that way in the book, where I pen down what he was going through, and through that, his emotions and what he would speak to me and what he would try and say. And I would try and understand his perspective, because it was a very daunting, a very difficult time for him and for us. So uh, the book starts off with him, with my husband, and it turns. The book actually changes to Dil Hai Na Fix It, where after my husband, I was left with the fact that we have a heart, I have a heart, let's fix it. So that is more towards emotion, not the literal fixing of our heart, but our emotions. All of us have emotions and all of us have a heart. And we face a lot of circumstances and we go through a lot. So we all have emotions embedded deep inside our heart. So Dil Hai Na, we all have it. Fix it. At all times, we fix it. So that was the first book. Um, it's a true story. It's our story, and it's very special to me. It's
I
very
can
special.
imagine, I can imagine. And it takes you through that journey, as you said, beginning from your husband, which literally meant fixing the heart. And then, of course, and you carrying on that journey, obviously, where your heart needed to be fixed as well, in that sense.
And so I believe now for everybody, every soul, that, no matter what it is, everybody has a heart. Let's fix it at any level. And we can do it. We should do it, because that makes us go through each day in a better way, because it changes your mindset and your positivity. So it makes a difference.
Mm. Mm.
Everybody does it in a different way, but yes, so
Yeah.
got to do, got to fix it.
Absolutely.
That
Take us a little bit further back, if that's okay. Like, where did the writing come from? What's your, like, if you feel like, is that related to the education that you went through? Where, yeah, you wear so many hats, and I'm always curious to know because writing is something very unique, right? Like, you will
it's so
find ton of engineers in our community. You'll find a ton of doctors, but not a ton of writers, let's face it. I'm not saying because I'm a
thank
writer.
you so much for that.
So tell us a
Actually,
little bit, yeah, where that comes from. Yeah.
sorry, somebody mentioned to me and said that a writer is the ignition of things. So when someone conceptualizes something and you have the capacity to dream and to imagine and pen it down, then it is out there for everyone to work on it, to realize it. Even being an engineer, being all different kind of professions, when you write down a thought and idea, you can actually work on it. But to my previous years, I haven't been a reader as sorts, but I had the passion to pen down thoughts. So back in my early years, I used to write rhyming words and I turned into lines and it turned into poetry. So I used to pen down poetries just automatically, just for the rhythm of it and just because rhyming words literally, put a tune into my head. So it turned into poetry. And I used to do a little bit of poetry, nothing here and there, nothing religiously, nothing published all the time. But that's what I used to do. And I used to write down thoughts. And when I read those thoughts again, I would find them fascinating. And I would actually think, now that I read it, at that time, my thoughts were so fluttery. I mean, there was so much of and there's some zest and some like how you write fiction books and you put in some matter into it. So even my thoughts carried that little bit of imagination in it. And then I didn't really write anything at that time. My first book was something that was a break free, or not a break free, but something to release myself from that pain. So it turned out to be a very, very personal and now out there in the world book to for people to read and maybe take away something, as in to cope up with whatever you might be going through. So writing
Absolutely.
helps us.
Writing is very, very cathartic, right? It is a big release mechanism, and that's why they say journaling helps you release your emotion. It's beautiful for catharsis, and you being in mind wellness, I guess it's one of the tools that you probably recommend in your workshops, right? To release.
Right. Right.
That's brilliant. That's beautiful. And is that like was that anyway related to like like I'm just curious, like what was like a day job or what was a profession or that was completely separate. And I know you're laughing, so it's probably like nothing to do with this.
You're reading me. Amazing. So, like that book, what I wrote was something very, very personal, um, non-professional. Mind wellness also is something that's the creative side of me, and it's a passion within me. So again, to help our community and anybody, our people, anyone, should to try and reach out and be there for people as much. And it's a platform where I see that I can extend myself to the limit of bringing a little bit of joy in gathering and in people together who do the workshops with me. So I have orchestrated the term dot therapy. Dot therapy is something that's in my workshops where it's interactive workshops with groups we speak about emotion.
Before we go there, right? Though I'm more interested in knowing Bhavna, right? Like who's Bhavna? Like tell us, give us a little bit more, if you if you're okay with it, of your background. Like
Absolutely.
what did you
So,
do back home? Who are you? Like tell us more
okay.
about, what we want to know who you are, right? Like what's and I know you have an incredible story of also when you came and you started. So we want to hear about those turnaround times, like what challenges you went through. And that was so impressive when you told me. But yeah, if that's okay, we want to go more into who you are.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Absolutely. So, I am from Mumbai. We are from Mumbai. And I have lived in Dubai for the longest time, for most of my years. I was educated in India, moved to Dubai, and did a little bit of college and education in Dubai, and started working there. And I met my husband at the airport. I used to work at the airport. Met my husband there, fell in love, and got married. And we had children in Dubai. We had our children there. And yeah, a lot of family, a lot of culture, a lot of living together, and a very happy and a very extended life in Dubai, a very thriving place it is. So, a lot of togetherness, and, cousins from my husband's family side. We have a lot of cousins, and it's the family is a community in itself, like, and yeah, very short and sweet. In very short and sweet words, it's like a fulfilled life that we used to live in Dubai. So when COVID hit, and even before, when my husband wasn't well, we uh, took him to India to recover, to get better, but then we lost him. And after that, it was a call to take, as in, would I go back to India? Would I come here? Because I have my brother here in Canada. I have my brother in law in Canada. So I decided on ultimately, for many reasons, to move to Canada and start life again. Staying in Dubai was not really something that I was wanting to do, because at that time, because it was very difficult for me to stay there without my husband, because everywhere we'd go, whatever place I would think of going, I know I've been there with my husband, and it was like a haunting feeling, we say. So that would be very difficult for me. So I we moved here, and when I came here, I started my business. And I was from when I left Dubai, I was in the wellness industry. So when I came here and stepped into Canada, the requirement was such, and I was so blessed to, you know, enhance my skills and get better at what I would be doing next. And then I landed on to starting the business, the wellness business.
And all by
So
yourself, you came here single-handedly, right? Like living. I mean, that I'm sure that was still everything that you went through was fresh in your mind, but to show that that grit, right? To start something afresh, regardless of all this, starting something new is daunting. It's yeah. So walk us through that a little bit, like the courage, the resilience that it takes, right? It is.
it's not easy. That's true. Just starting a business on your own, or with family, with friends, or a partner, it's not easy. It has so many challenges. I'm not a business person as such. There was everything to learn from scratch. uh, First, learn the country, and adapt to the weather, the taxes, learn the culture. There's so much to open up to, and everything was raw when we came here. But when I again think about it, I feel that making the decision and breaking away from what was in Dubai was a decision that I consciously worked towards. Like, starting from scratch is something that everybody says, it's a term, right? So I used that term. I said, people kept telling me, you start life now, start life now. I said, okay, I'm hearing that all the time. Let's start life. Let's literally do it. Start again. So that challenge is thrown on you, and I said, okay, when everybody says start life, start new, start fresh, so what better a platform than to be in a new place altogether, because all that excitement is there to learn all the new culture in the new region itself. Um, for me, I take everything as an excitement. Any opening, anything that is new to learn is excitement for me. Through the challenges and the difficulties that I would have anyway had to go through, which I did in Dubai. There were a lot of hindrances and a lot of trouble. Um, Everything here was new, to go through learning, to go through establishing a business, to go through starting, to making friends, to knowing people around. And yeah, it is very difficult. But because everything is new for me, and like a child, you look at something new and you say, oh, wow, what is this? Let me know more. Oh, wow, what that curiosity was, I think, on tops for me, because consciously I kept it to be mindfully the driving factor for me. It helped. It helped, and that's what I hope my children see in me all the time, and that overrules the negativity or the sadness that is there. That's always, that doesn't leave. That doesn't leave at all. Your memories are there, and it's better to, if you can overrule that, if you can look a little bit to the positive side and go by each day, one day at a time, is what I have heard and been taught. And one day at a time was something that now I say, okay, when I'm hearing one day at a time all the time, I will do it. I'll actually live one day at a time. So it's still a learning journey. There's so much to learn and to open up to every day. It's exciting yet.
No, that's so, so, so inspiring in many ways. What I loved is curiosity overrules the sadness, right? It's such a powerful healing mechanism, right? A lot of people will say like time will heal, but I love the approach you took, complete change of environment, such a powerful, powerful tool. Because yes, now it's everything is new. And to your point, yes, everything, it's not like that'll ever leave you, the sadness, but very powerful in terms of the approach to start afresh, start something new. And I know yours is a brick and mortar business. So even going through the rounds of, investing that amount or setting up that business, as a woman, we still are living in a world where all this is still, to a large extent, men drive this, men will set up these businesses. Women do it a lot more than a couple decades ago, but it's still, it's still needed a lot of courage and strength, did it, right?
Thank you. Yes, it does. I don't deny that at all. And like I was saying, mindfully, I choose to override everything with my curiosity. I'm lucky that probably I have a little curious nature and a very childlike, curiosity that opens up many avenues also. And to take the plunge and go forth is something that's you need some push or courage. For me, I didn't need the push. I had to muster courage, because the situation, all these situations placed me in avenues and in places where I had to. When you have a situation in front of you, you choose. You choose fear, you choose, your strength. It's up to you. So I had to make the choice at every point, every stage.
And a
So
lot of this also happens with the right people around you, right? You were saying that's people around you were saying start afresh. start fresh, right? Like even those little messages kind of help you to take that step forward. As you said, you didn't need the push, but the courage. So was it mostly like friends and family? Like what did that?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
Hmm.
That was family and very, very close friends in Dubai. And every day was a struggle for my husband to see another day. And it was, of course, a big struggle for us. So when he was going through that, the whole daunting feeling and coping up with the hospital scene and a lot of ICU visits and, seeing uh, that aura is different. And when you have the strength coming from your own people around you, and the little bit that they spoke, and of course, they spoke so much to me, and I had a lot of support. But these lines and these little bits that they spoke, I grabbed every day. Every day, I took that little one good sentence. I mean, I can't remember all of it, but these things when they said, um, one day at a time, that's a big thing that I used to hear every day because that was very factual. A fact that my husband was trying to live one day at a time. I took that when somebody said it tomorrow, one day at a time. Live one day. Don't think about next week. Don't think about 5 days. Live one day at a time. So I took that line and I not switched, but I started saying back and even speaking and telling my husband, he could hear, and I used to tell him, tomorrow will be a better day. So that one day at a time, for me, when I was looking into that one day, I said, yes, we look at it one day at a time. So tomorrow is going to be a better day. Tomorrow will be a better day. That was something that so these small lines have helped me so much, so much. So
Very true, and very inspiring lines. No matter what you do in life, right? Yeah, looking at the big goal, they say start 10 years from now, but still it can be daunting and it can be you're looking at the top, the zenith of the summit, and you're at the bottom here to climb that. It looks very daunting, but when you say no, it's just this much that I'm climbing today. I'm just taking a few steps today. Yeah, no, that can be. No, that's amazing. And so did the book come after you moved? Did you write the book while you were going through all this, or the first book?
the first book, Dil Hai Na Fix It, was penned down after everything happened. And I was in a situation where I didn't know what to do next. It was a big question mark for me. There was a lot of legalities that were going on, which were also another situation after situation, big legalities and things going on, like with court and difficulties involving my children as well. So everything was a situation and then I would just sit with my children and I would talk to them like we always used to, like we always spoke about school and everything, the daily. But most of my hours of my day were going into those big heavy duty things to take care of after my husband passed away. So I had a lot of pages that I had written about his, progress every day in the ICU and what he had spoken to me, and a little bit of one day was better in the ICU, and he spoke something. I used to write that down on paper. So I had so many of those pages, and I opened that up and I just started penning them down. I said, I don't want to lose all these papers ever. So I
Mm,
just started. And yes, my one or two of my cousins, they said, why don't you just write down everything? And that turned out to be a release. And I said, when somebody suggested, I said, yes, okay, I will do it. So it happened that way.
beautiful, beautiful. And then yeah, and no writing background, which is very, very interesting. Airport wellness, very, very different background, but some things are meant to be, some things are like part of your, karmic framework, I think. Not to bring in religion, but yes, it is something that you carry on. Your soul carries on. You never know when it shows up, right? um,
True.
So that is very, very interesting. And then, so by the time you moved to Canada, that book was already ready. And how long ago? When did you move to Canada?
We moved to Canada in 2022, and the book was published already. That was a couple of months before coming to Canada.
And was it like an on Amazon, self-published?
Amazon. Yes, it's on Amazon.in because it
Oh,
was published in India.
you
So
self.
I got the rights to just Amazon.in at that time.
Interesting.
So